Hi, guys. Welcome back to Six Quantum Bridge Podcast. This is your host, analyst, and researcher, Bernadette. You are listening to a 2025 Rising Star podcast, a 2025 Most Shared podcast, and a 2025 Marathon podcast, and you're about to find out why. Let's get into it. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but there is a police siren in the background. So I kind of see that as a sign about what we are going to be talking about today. So, welcome to a very special episode. Today, we are doing a spiritual autopsy. We are demystifying the demon. Now, if you remember the last demystifying the demon, which I'm going to abbreviate it to DTD, demystifying the demon, I was talking about how in my twin flame journey, my twin flame sister created a narrative using things available on Amazon. We know that things on Amazon are pretty cheap. So, if you need to do something fast, I'm sure she has the 2-day thing, you get things in 2 days. And I basically, went into, if I were her and I wanted to fabricate a death narrative, how would I do it? I went into exactly how. Now, I see that this type of content is what you guys want to listen to, so I'm going to be making more of this type of content, okay, with other cases as well. And let's get into it. So, when you want to spin a narrative, what you realize is that there's going to be people like me that expose you for what you're doing. All right. And we're growing in numbers. So if you, and to kind of encapsulate my last episode about this, if you want to fake a death narrative, you have to call up on any of the person's friends that are in the mortuary business. Okay. To try to legitimize some things that are kind of fabricated. And because you can't produce a body, the best thing to do is to say that he was cremated, okay? Because then there's no body. But since you can't produce a body, what you do is you go to Amazon, and I put the links in the show notes of how easy it is to find an urn for real cheap and to find ashes for real cheap, because those are not human ashes. Put a picture, boom, there you go. You avoid people asking questions, okay? So, same thing can be applied to this. How is it that you do love readings, but you don't have love in your life? You are able to, quote unquote, manifest out of thin air, at least for the next 3 months, until the next moon cycle, love, quote unquote, for your clients, but you can't do it for yourself. Okay? And this is proof that this particular entity is listening to my podcast episodes, because just yesterday I was talking about the meridians and how body shape dictates what your dominant chakra points are. Okay, if you're bottom heavy, it's lower basal, lower energy. If it's top heavy, it's higher, so on and so forth. Okay, so check out that episode as well. And I kind of wanted to apply that to this. All right. Now, you should know that this Skinwalker has been spending years trying to harvest my frequency because they've run out of their own. Okay. Nothing is created with them. Okay. So today we're not going to be talking about vibes. We're going to be talking about the synthetic simulation. How someone manufactures a whole human being out of thin air just to avoid being seen as the lonely, unchosen entity they actually are. Okay? So I saw similarities between what my twin flame sister did and what this skinwalker is doing now. When you can't produce a person, you produce a narrative, okay? Now, we see the digital version of this, okay? This mimic is using long distance, quote unquote, as her spiritual store bought urn. It's her version of the urn, okay? It's the perfect cover. If he's supposedly in another country, another state, she doesn't have to produce a body, a heartbeat, or a face. Now, with the invention of AI, what she could do, and she has shown that she does this on her Instagram because she took a picture with Vessel from what's his name? What's that shitty band? Sleep Token. Oh, their music sucks. And basically, with AI, you can put your picture together with somebody. So, in an effort to not look like Miss Lonely Pants, what she could do is fabricate somebody out of thin air. Oh, this is from this year, or this is from this time. And with AI, she can create somebody out of thin air. Just put it into the prompt and boom, it turns out an AI photo of you with your man, with your soulmate. In a way, what she's doing is trying to tell the universe what type of man she wants to manifest in her life by doing that, because none exists in real life. Now, conversely, this is a woman that's been tracking my moves for the past, I'd say, 3 months. Okay. Very, very hard. Okay. So what she's trying to do is manipulate a reactive response from me. Okay. Again, demystifying the demon. How would she do this? Okay. First of all, we have the AI angle. All right. She could also go to Pixabay or anybody else, or, and just type in a general churned out picture and say that that's her person. Okay. So you have two ways where she can manufacture somebody out of thin air that doesn't exist. Okay. It's a completely digital representation of what she wishes was a part of her life. Now, how does this relate to her wanting to have me be reactionary? Since she knows that I'm very protective of my twin flame union, she's hoping that posting these in a cavalcade, a carousel, a parade of similar type posts that closely resembles my type of journey, it's a convenient cover for her to explain why there's no man in her life. How convenient that you put him in another country or in another state, because then you don't have to produce him. So what she's effectively doing is trying to do that to get me to react reactively and post a picture of my husband on the internet, knowing full well that she's a witch, a chaos witch, and most likely has an altar in her room so that she can, download and print out his picture so she can do work on it? No, baby, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. This is the thing. It's the thinking that I'm stupid part of this that really gets me, because it's like, sweetheart, I'm intelligent in both books and in spirituality, honey. Okay? I'm an intellectual, but I'm also a spiritual intellectual. You're not slick. I can't be tricked. Okay? So if you are going through something similar, let this episode be something you put in the back of your head, because I'm sure I'm not the only bitch that's going through this. Okay? So, again, in the age of AI, let's reiterate this. You can code yourself a boyfriend. You can stitch yourself into a stock photo and generate a face that doesn't exist in the real world. And that's how she would probably pass off that this person exists. Simultaneously, because she believes in the law of attraction and the law of assumption, she's hoping that doing that would produce that man to enter into her life and manifest into her life. This is all a very elaborate, calculated scheme. But how effective is it going to be now that we have exposed this? Because this type of magic that she's doing operates in the dark. But once you bring it into the light, it disintegrates. And she uses these tools to explain why she allegedly manifests love for everyone else, yet can't produce it for herself. And it all comes to one single truth that was basically told a few years ago. She's been on this for a few years now, okay? It's been, 2 years since I kind of dropped that bomb? It was on my own, my own, I forget which account it was that I dropped that bomb on it. And this didn't even come from me. It came from God. So there's a couple of implications here. She doesn't believe in twin flames. She doesn't believe in God. Twin flames and God are it's a package deal. Okay. So in order to bring that type of love into your life, it has to be part of your soul contract, first of all. And if you're busy stealing from other people, how do you think that you're going to give something so high vibrational as that type of love into your life if you're busy siphoning off of other people? It doesn't work that way, darling. I know you don't like rules, but rules apply in the spiritual world as well. Back when she was talking about karmics, and then all of a sudden karmics don't exist to her, right? She talked about this. What? So all of a sudden the rules change when you say that karmics don't exist because you are a karmic and you don't want to shit where you eat? So let's talk about it. This is all about manipulative calculation. And you have to see the play for what it is. I don't think that we can go any much deeper than that. If I'm not allowed to put my man out there for everybody to see, like he's a piece of meat in the meat case, no, I'm not doing that. But the fact of the matter remains that it's like, not only is she copying my aesthetic and trying to copy my talents, but now she's trying to copy and fabricate, not even copy, because you can't copy from a source code that you don't have within yourself. She's trying to fabricate out of thin air an explanation for why she's so lonely. It really gets to her. And the recent cavalcade of reposts really says what occupies her mind the most. If you're quote unquote at peace with you being lonely, then what's with all of the reposts on trying to law of assumption your way into manifesting somebody that doesn't exist? If it's not part of your soul contract, that person's not going to enter your life, no matter how many reposts you put up. So the jig is up. Know the play and don't be reactive. That's the name of the game here, guys. Don't be reactive. Because everything they do is to get you to be reactive. much like the sister of my twin flame did what she did with the Amazon urn and the Amazon ashes and the very shoddily put together, quote unquote, memorial. Meanwhile, you cannot find any of his information if he was gone out there on the internet. And let me tell you something. He's Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican. Okay? Puerto Ricans don't necessarily cremate their dead. We bury them. We inter them. I know because my dad is interred. My dad is Puerto Rican. He was not cremated. We don't believe in cremation. And Puerto Ricans are very, very, very traditional, and we keep the customs generation after generation after generation. We don't cremate our dead. So explain yourself. I demystified the demon there, and I'm demystifying the demon here. That being said, guys, it's pretty much a open shut case. They want you to be reactive so that you, in an effort to prove that you're telling the truth, you produce proof of you telling the truth with an actual picture or a video that they can take and download and do work on it. Don't fall for the okie doke, guys. Don't do it. Okay? They're trying to trigger you into a reactive response. Know the game. You got to be 20 steps ahead with these people. Okay? I'll help you. Now, I don't charge cheap for my services, guys, because when I get into your case, we're going to peel every fucking thing back, okay? Things that is, you may not look at that person the same ever again. All right? So, in an effort to demystify the demon, this has been your host, Bernadette, your analyst and researcher with 6 Quantum Bridge Podcast. Please follow me here. Follow me on my sister account, the Psychic Splinter Podcast. I will be doing, I know I promised at every episode, but I will be doing a tarot reading today, maybe a couple, because I think it's high time, because it's been a little bit of a minute since I've posted everything on there, and since we have good source code to be able to talk about, we could talk about the details of this in depth on there. So there is going to be, for this particular episode, a tarot reading to accompany this. Okay, so follow me there as well. I mean, a lot of times you do have to follow both accounts because they are sister accounts. You're going to get things on the other account that you're not going to get on here. Okay, so let's just get into that there. Again, thank you for joining me. Thank you to my listeners all over the world. I love you guys. And follow me here. Follow me on my sister podcast at the Psychic Splinter Podcast. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourselves. Listen, there's 3 things you got to remember. Stay above it. Stay discerning and stay in your lane. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.